Okay, so in this video I will teach you how to create a task. So what is a task? A task is an activity that you performed. What does that mean? That means it can be a phone call that you made, it can be a company visit that you attended, it can be an email that you sent, it can be for talent management, a personal goal setting meeting with a member, etc. So in order to create a task, it's a bit the same as with contacts. You have several ways to do it. The first, as usual, is create new and you create a task. Now, like when you do that, if you do that, you create select task, record type, and you can choose the type of task that you want to select. So if it's an email, if it's a company visit, which we're going to try this time, or a phone call, etc. So let's say you booked a company visit, and so you're going to enter it in the system. So if you arrive on the task creation page, so you have to enter, the user will be your LC. The responsible who did the task, you will have to enter yourself, Romain Prudhomme. Note that this time you cannot choose an actual member, you have to enter it by writing it, and so it's important that you always write it in the same way so that when we record the different tasks, it's actually allocated to the same person. The subject, once again, you choose the subject by clicking on the small icon on the side. And here this time the subject is still going to be raising TN, so GIP. The due date, well, the meeting is due for next Monday, so the status is not started. The meeting outcome, there is no outcome yet because the meeting hasn't taken place yet. I have not signed any GQs because the meeting is not, so GQ form for the job questionnaire that we make them sign when there is TNs. The status is not started since it's due next Monday. Priority is normal, let's say it's interesting but not that much. Related to, here is a bit of a trick. You have to relate it to a company, of course, so which is the company you will have the meeting with. So here, let's say I relate it to education and to a contact, which you can find here. So we created, I think, several test contacts. So I can click test, yep. So for example, tester video, which is a contact of the company education. Now, as I was saying, there are several ways to create a task. And while you can create it by using the create new and selecting a task, you can also create it from within a company or from within a contact. So if I go and I select a company, so for example education in my recent items, or if I go and select a context, so for example tester video in my recent items. So if I go into my company, I can see here that I have open activities and a new task button, the same way that I had a new contact button. So if I click on the new task button, again I can choose the type of task, continue, and here automatically the company field will be filled. If I do it through the contact, same way, I have new task is also available. I will go again into a company visit, and I have the name of the contact is filled, and I can enter my company. So in either case you have to enter one of the two, but if you create it from within a contact or from within a company, you don't have to enter both. If you create it from create new, you have to enter both, as I did previously. So let's go back to it. You can put the comments. So meeting is at 9:30 at their Brussels office. And I can even add some other comments to help me. Remember to bring IT profiles on the meeting, for example, so that I can know when I open the task again, when I put my reminder, that I have this to do. So the reminder by default is put on the date of the task at 8 o'clock. Now that is not very satisfactory for me. I want to be remembered of the task on the Sunday at 7:30, so that I will prepare my my packages to bring to the company, the IT profiles, etc. on the Sunday evening, and everything will be ready for the Monday morning. And I click on save. So I clicked on save, and now if I go into my company education and I scroll down, I will be able to see the task in my open activities. So now let's say that it is Monday, and so I will want to edit the activity to put it on completed, because I will have done the visit with the company. So I will edit the visit. So status, I will put it on completed. I did the meeting. The meeting went okay. There is interest, but they have not confirmed that they are going to take an intern. And I'm going to enter in the comments how the meeting went. So I'm going to enter that we presented them the program, showed interest, but no available budgets before March. And I'm going to save my task. And in my company, the task that was open is now closed, is now in my activity history, and I can see the meeting outcome here, which was interest follow-up, which means that I should be following up with that company. So I'm going to create a new task, which will be a follow-up visit. Not started again, that will be again done by me. The subject is still GIP, and the due date will be at the beginning of March. The contact hasn't changed. And I will put to book another meeting to see if now they have available budgets, as well as to identify the current needs. And I'm going to save it. So one important point is that your company should always have at least one open activity. So that means that you schedule to do at least one thing with that company. Why? Because that means that you have actual activities planned with that company. That means that that company is still active and so should stay on your list.